The two sides prepare to come on to Headingley. This 1993 Great Britain-France International here in Leeds, and Malcolm really has resisted the temptation to experiment with his team because this is the last test before the New Zealanders arrive. Steve Watson leading the British side on the left of your picture, and a big night for Andy Platt, the Great Britain captain who has never appeared on a losing side against the French. His opposite number, Gilles Dumas, winning his 26th cap for his country here tonight, by far and away the most experienced man on the French side. Let's take a check then on how these two sides line up, beginning with Great Britain. Alan Tate is the fullback. On the wing, it's witnesses John Devereux. In the centre, from Division 2 champions Featherstone, it's Paul Newlove. Alongside him, Gary Connolly. Alan Hunt is his St Helens teammate on the left wing. A comeback to the international scene for Jonathan Davies, the Welshman, is in his favourite stand-up half spot. And alongside him, Sean Edwards, the country's leading try scorer with 41 touchdowns. Up front, it's Carl Harrison from Malcolm Reilly's own club, Halifax. Martin Dermott of Wigan is the hooker. And a big night, as I say, for Andy Platt, the captain. Dennis Betts comes into the side, an unexpected start for Betts. His second row partner is Richie Ayres of Widnes. And filling in for the dropped Ellery Hanley, dropped because of disciplinary reasons, Phil Clark is the loose forward. And the coach is Malcolm Reilly. The Lord Mayor of Leeds being introduced to the players at both sides, Councillor Denise Atkinson, accompanied by Bob Ashby, who is the chairman of the Rugby Football League. And as the official party go down the British line, let us take a look at the French side. Eric Van Brussel is their fullback. On the wing, it's Claude Servain. In the centre, Pascal Mons. Adolphe Alacina is in the centre. Jean-Marc Garcia is the left winger in 5. The captain of France, the stand-off half, Gilles Dumas. His scrum half is Pascal Fage. A man from Canterbury Bankstown in Australia, a French-Australian Theo Anast is the prop forward, and Patrick Torel is the hooker in 9. Thierry Boutignol is the prop forward wearing 10. Bernard Cartier from Saint-Estève is in the second row. Didier Cabastani is the second rower in 12. And Jean-Luc Combet completes the lineup. He's the loose forward. And the French coach is Jean-Christophe Vergeinst. Let's just check out the subs for you. For both nations, Great Britain have Ford, Furbank, Powell and Nicol on the bench. Furbank coming in today because of Hanley's omission. And France have Amat, Baba, Fraisse and Béranger on the bench for them. They beat the Russian team, now the CIS, in November. They lost to Wales, and then they were beaten in Carcassonne. This is the night the French hope to put the record straight. Word of caution for Great Britain. They have met against France here at Headingley 8 times. They've been beaten just the once. That was in 1990. A shock defeat that day before Great Britain headed off to the 1990 Lions Tour. And Gilles Dumas made his debut in the 10-all draw in Avignon against Great Britain in 1986. Andy Platt, he has led Great Britain once before, but it was only in a tour match down under in Australia against Manly. That night Great Britain lost by 30 points to 0, and you whisper that scoreline quietly whenever you are in Andy Platt's company. The match referee from Australia, Graham Annesley, took charge of the test in France. It was his first test match that he had control of. He took charge of Leeds against Hull here last season. He's missing the first 4 rounds of the Winfield Cup in Australia because of his trip across to the Northern Hemisphere. Dennis Betts thought he was on the substitutes bench tonight, but then Ellery Hanley went absent without leave overnight. He was dropped by the Great Britain management, and Dennis Betts was handed the jersey. It meant a rejigging of the back row with Ayres and Clark moving down a place, and I just wonder, Mike Stevenson, that change coming at such a late stage in Britain's preparation, I wonder how it will affect their plans.
Well, I don't think it'll upset them all that well. I really feel that Malcolm really would have worked because of the fact that maybe one of those back 3 could have got injured. But when you've got a man of quality of Dennis Betts to bring in, it really does diffuse matters a little bit. But Phil Clark, to me, is probably the best loose forward in England at the moment. And I'm sure that he will relish the fact that he's in his natural position now, rather than playing in the second row.
Yes, Phil Clark, former under-21 captain, thought to be a captain of the future for the full side. This test match is underway here at Headingley, and everyone will be looking for a big performance by Great Britain, because, as we've said all night, it's the last before the Kiwis arrive next autumn. And the French, Mike, they've had David Topless looking after them this week. They should be better organised than they were in Carcassonne.
I think so. Quite a lot of newcomers coming into the side. Average age around about 23, 24, so they've got the youth on their side. The experience perhaps well behind the Great Britain camp. They really have to get off to a good start and make sure that that defence is solid. And that's one thing that David Topless has been working on with them.
Well, they've kept Britain pegged back in their own half for their first set of 6. This is the fullback Van Brussel, and he's well watched by Philip Clark. The acting halfback is Torel, and he gets it out to Anast, the man who played his early football with Canterbury Bankstown in Australia. That's the scrum half, Pascal Fage. And Boutignol, the balding prop forward, picks himself up. Now with the loose forward, Combet, dropped on halfway. Dumas will dab the ball forward. Not a bad little kick. Tate has to race across, and it bounced awkwardly for the British fullback. But Tate on his home turf took it well, and then was brought down by his opposite number, Van Brussel, who waited for him on halfway.
Good play by Tate, but it was a nice little kick there by Dumas, and well supported by Garcia, the winger. But once it missed Tate, the gap was there for the fullback to race through.
Carl Harrison with a barnstorming run down the middle. Harrison, the only member of the Halifax side in this Great Britain squad. Significance of that is, of course, Malcolm Reilly now in charge of Halifax. And his team in club football making a bold bid for the Premiership. Don't forget the final of the Premiership at Old Trafford. A wonderful day out. 7 hours on Sky Sports. Middle of May, May 16th. Don't miss it. This is Sean Edwards. That now is New Love. The ball spills. And Edwards just hacks the ball forward. And it runs dead in goal.
Well, he took the right option there, did Edwards, taking on the blind side, but there the ball coming free. Tried to turn it into a bomb, but far too long. No pressure there.
Loose forward, Combet hitting the turf. This is Anast.
It's in the forwards, Eddie, that this French side really have to get things sorted out before they can get these three quarters moving. They've got to try to get on top of this very strong British pack, and that won't be easy.
Alan Tate again. Will buzz round the stadium every time Tate gets it. Leeds man, of course. New Love to Philip Clark. That's good tackling by Combet. Dermot the dummy half, and he finds his captain Andy Platt. Good run. Plenty of youngsters in the crowd today. The Rugby League have issued free tickets to many of the schools in Yorkshire, and they've turned up here and they're watching Dennis Betts. Great move that by the Rugby League to bring the youngsters into the international game. They should be applauded for it. This is Jonathan Davis. Now Richie Ayres. He gets it round the corner to New Love. The space out there for Hunt. Alan Hunt with the first try. Great start, Great Britain. Alan Hunt. It's his third try in British colours.
Good forward play had pulled in the French defence. Edwards running across the face. There you saw the lovely ball there. Richie Ayres slipped it out. Newlove did the right thing. You could see that the French winger and the fullback had been sucked in, Broussel, and hunting for a four-pointer. That was excellent play by Great Britain. All came about by this man running across the face. Edwards brings the defence out to him. Davis then feeds the second row Ayres. And this is a beautiful pass right round Dumas. Newlove does the right thing. Not the best of passes, but well taken by Hunt. And the St Helens winger in for the first try. That really will lift the confidence of the Great Britain camp.
And it is his second test try for Great Britain. That's absolutely right, my mistake. His 25th of the season though, 24 in a wonderful time he's having with St Helens on the wing. And so Jonathan Davis with the goal-kicking responsibilities. 95 goals this season for his club Widnes as they have reached Wembley. And Davis misses. Won't be happy with that. He likes to get off the mark when he gets the chance of a conversion or a penalty, and that was kickable.
There you can see that Richie Ayres, the second rower, has pulled in the skipper Dumas and the centre Mons. Tight run. That's a clear run for Newlove to drag in once he gets the ball out wide. Not the best of passes, but well taken there by Hunt. Had to lean back for it.
So French up against it already, just coming up to 6 minutes on my watch. They're trailing 4-0. Dermot to Edwards, now Clark. Little half break by Philip Clark. Confirmation, 4-0, 6 minutes gone. Andy Platt, the ball came free, it went backwards, Newlove picked it up. The movement continues for Great Britain. Swarming defence by the French.
Well, we mentioned earlier that David Topless has been working on that facet all week, trying to get them tightened up.
There's a drop ball then that robbed Great Britain of another opportunity.
Dermot trying to get the ball inside. Edwards just took his eyes off that ball. Not the best of passes, it was just going downwards a little bit.
The hooker was Terrell. Dumas quickly through the hands. Was that a knock on by Alisina? No, the referee says play on. It went backwards. The wingers Servain and Dumas stabs it downfield. Tate gathers it on first bounce. Real buzz goes round this ground when Tate gets hold of the ball.
He'll have plenty of work to do with the Leeds fullback Alan Tate. Dumas, very experienced kicker.
Dermot to Davis. Ambet. This is the French loose forward, Combet, who is down and injured and receiving treatment. So the French temporarily down to 12 men as Great Britain attack, with Andy Platt, their captain. Good tackling by the second row, Cartier and Dumas. This now Edwards. The ball to Clark. Such understanding between these Wigan teammates. That's a good pass out to the far side to Alan Hunt, and he tried to keep the movement going.
Good tackle by the French fullback Broussel.
Davis hoists the high kick, and it's the winger who's back there in the fullback's row, and it touched him. The winger Servain, he lost that completely.
Well, that's unfortunate there. The ball just bouncing back onto him. He thought that was going to go bounce well and truly over the Denning goal line. Upset with that, the winger Servain.
Drop out from underneath the posts. More pressure coming in for Great Britain with Davis. Davis on a siding run, sidestepping, and a good job that the scrum half Pascal Fage was there, otherwise that was a try for Davis. And David Amat has come on, an early substitution. Jean-Luc Combet is off injured. Meanwhile, Andy Platt drives the ball in, 10 metres short of the line. Edwards to Dennis Betts. Lovely movement from Great Britain.
Just get the feeling that Sean Edwards is taking control of this game very early.
Short pass finds Richie Ayres. He gets Newlove in. Second try, Great Britain. 2 in 9 minutes for the British. Great start for Malcolm Reilly's men.
As we mentioned, Sean Edwards there, supposedly looking for the run round. Once again, it's the second row. Richie Ayres, well worked there. Slight hint, perhaps, that that ball was forward. The referee, Graham Annesley, quite happy with it. Newlove in for it. There you can see Sean Edwards dummying, looking for someone to come round him. In for the try, but good work by the second row, Richie Ayres. See quite clearly here, they thought they were running the French defence, just hang off. But that was a lovely pass there.
Paul Newlove with the try. A club record 35 touchdowns for Featherstone Rovers as they've charged out of the second division this season. And that's his third test try for his country. What a wonderful prospect. It's the loose forward, Jean-Luc Combet, being helped to the dressing room, so he will take no further part in this match. David Amat has come on, and in French and Great Britain Rugby League, of course, and International Rugby League, once you're off, you're off. Davis with this conversion attempt, and he misses another one from almost exactly the same spot. Oh, and he's unhappy with the kicking. 8-0, Great Britain with 2 tries in the bag, though.
Problem again for the French defence. You can see 2 there, the gap appears. Ayres does the rest, support play. Just slightly forward in my book, but it was given.
So the loose forward Combet disappearing after a very brief international debut here at Headingley. And he has a bad gash in his left calf. So he will take no further part in this, but John Devereux most certainly will. Dermot and Connolly. Connolly through the little gap. They're attacking that left wing with some gusto. This is Alan Hunt, and here's another. weakness down that left flank, and they're exploiting it all the way.
Well, this all came about by a lovely run by John Devereux. Then Connolly gets involved, throws the dummy there. That is weak tackling, I'm afraid, by the French. And this centre, Paul Newlove, does the right thing. You see how he sucked in the halfback, Pascal Fage. And this man in for his second try. I'm afraid this French defence is a little bit suspect. The run from Dermot. Connolly throws the dummy. You can see that they're just peeling off them. Lovely centre play there by Newlove. Alan Hunt carrying the ball in the right hand, which is in the left one, should I say, so he can fend off any would-be tackler with the right. Excellent try.
Great start by Great Britain, and it does the old heart good, doesn't it, to see the British just go out with the full intention of demoralising the French. No charity, and you wouldn't expect that from Australia. You'd expect no charity against lesser opposition by the Aussies, so why should we expect any charity from Great Britain? Davis then with his third conversion attempt from a similar position. Has he got the sights in yet? He's clipped that one nicely. The flags go up. Davis off the mark. Great Britain racing ahead, 14-0.
Once again, the French commit suicide. Two men going for one man. They have to tackle him. They don't. He goes through. Ball out to Newlove. The rest is history. Well taken again by Alan Hunt. It's the second bad ball he's had to take to score a try.
They've obviously spotted a weakness, haven't they, on the French right, Mike? And they are exploiting it to some good effect. And that point I was making, no charity, that's what we want tonight. We want to see Great Britain run these tries in.
Yes, we've got to show, we've got to get ourselves prepared. A lot of people criticise Malcolm really for the fact that he didn't, shall we say, bring in some youngsters to trial them. And he wanted a good knockout today to get ready for the New Zealanders. And it appears that that's what he's getting. But I'm afraid the French defence, they are being caught at the dummy half. Quick play the ball, and the French are still going backwards.
I think we have a hatful of tries in store for you here on Sky Sports tonight. The French trailing 14-0. And a good job that the fullback Van Brussel and Garcia didn't quite get in each other's way. This is Seven, the winger.
Bad communications there, but well taken by Brussel.
And he's limping away, is Garcia. Thing with this French team, of course, is that despite the fact they go 14-0 down after a quarter of an hour, they have the ability, they have the players like the scrum half in possession now, Pascal Fage and Dumas, to really turn it on. And they can play with a wonderful Gallic flair.
Well, he's the man that can turn it. Wonderful kick there by the skipper, Dumas. As you mentioned, Eddie, they need to build on their confidence, and it's in the forwards that they have to build that platform. But it's no easy task against a very strong and big Great Britain pack. But it's in that defence where the problems are lying. Great Britain playing the ball exceptionally quickly.
First scrum of the evening, noticing there that David Amat, the number 14 for France, the substitute, he packed down at loose forward there, and he was loose forward in the test match at Carcassonne just 3 weeks ago. Newlove being held down. Philip Clark turns the ball inside to Devereux. Now this is Andy Platt. Edwards. Short ball to Philip Clark. Connolly is there to keep the movement going. Oh, and he tried to get that ball away. As he went down, he lost it.
There you can see he was trying to get the ball away, and the elbows, the impact on the ground just jolted the ball free. Bit of a let-off there by the French, because they're making inroads every time they're in possession.
Shaun Edwards thought he'd got one there against the head. Referee Annesley, though, pulls them back, wants the scrum to reform.
The French, of course, Eddie, would have a few problems with Graham Annesley's interpretation, because it's international rules, of course. They'd only go back supposedly the 5. It's not like the 10 that we have in operation here in Britain, but it's an Australian 5, which is about 7.5.
So there's plenty of room for the players, and this is Cabastane, second row forward. Platt and Carl Harrison, the two British props. Now Anast. Good tackling from Davis, that. Fage tried to spread the ball out. Pascal Mons. That's the last tackle for the French. And I don't think they've heard the Australian referee shout. They ran it. Oh, see, confusion in the French ranks there, didn't hear. And a huge swing in possession Great Britain's way, understandably, with runs like this from Dennis Betts. Edwards and Harrison just bounces off the tackles. Davis, that's good tackling by Garcia. Dermot to Edwards, misses out. Clark finds Connolly. Connolly through one. Devereaux. Connolly in a dummy half. Edwards spreads it wide to Davis. Long pass out from Davis to Hunt. Alan Hunt already on a hat-trick. He fancies it. Just ankle tapped by Garcia. This is last tackle for Great Britain. Edwards dabs it forward. Betts! Try! Dennis Betts! Inventive play by Great Britain and Sean Edwards in particular. Rubber kick at the angle. Dennis Betts following up. Great try.
Once again, the last tackle, you can see the option there for the kick, and it was on. The French defence really had no idea about it. The fullback was all at sea, was never to be seen. You can see Tate goes into the half-back position, but this man, Sean Edwards, is controlling things. Punches the ball through with the boot. Well supported there by Dennis Betts, the second rower. It's a well-taken try. See if they can move quickly away from it. This defence is very slow to come up onto it. When there's no fullback coming across, sliding in, that's what happens.
He's grabbed his chance with both hands. His 5th test try, try number 14. And so, once again, Jonathan Davis from a very similar position as he's had his previous 4 attempts. Little mounds of sand all over on that side of the field. Kicked the last one, 1 from 3. Clips this one, and he's got another 2. 20-0. Great start.
Once again, the defence, they're all at 6s and 7s. The gap appears. He takes it, punches it through. No one at home. Well taken try.
So the French up against it. Great Britain really do look in the mood as Dumas resumes this first half. And downstairs, one of Great Britain's travelling reserves, Alan Bateman, is talking with Bill Arthur.
Alan, 20 points up in 20 minutes, that's some start.
Yeah, it's a great start for the lads. Our plan was move the ball wide and play the balls very quick, and that's what they've done, and it's working very well for us.
But was the intention to really try and knock the stuffing out of the French early on?
Well, the French haven't had the ball, so they haven't had much chance to do anything. But our boys, as I said, they've been working really hard on the quick play of the balls and hitting the ball up very quickly.
That was a wonderful run from Dennis Betts that got Britain into this position, and Alan Tate has swerved out of all the tackling and has scored another. It was created by Dennis Betts and scored by the local man.
All came about from the run from Dennis Betts, but I'm afraid the tackling leaves a lot to be desired. But the strength of this man and the speed, knows there's no one in support, as well there to be tackled, tries to hold him down as a French player, but once it's away, the problems start. A little run across the centre, brings back inside, and I think that just about says it all, doesn't it? Not the best, but this man, Shaun Edwards, there you can see the defence running across, but when you have to tackle, you've got to make sure that the man is stopped. They're just bouncing off the Great Britain players, and that is a big problem for the French side.
Alan Tate, a try, or rather his test debut against France in Wigan 1989. Substitute in the World Cup final, it was his last cap. And now the Welshman takes over from the Scotsman. And this time Davis from the other side of the field. Well, it's a real treat, this, for these school children who have been allowed in here to Headingley tonight to watch the national side. And Jonathan Davis, having missed with a couple, is now giving us an example in how to kick goals from either side of the field. 26-0.
When you form the cluster, and that's what happens, that's the gap, the try is scored. You have to put the man down. Pat a cake is not good enough. An easy try, I'm afraid.
But Dennis Betts is having a big game here. Reprieved almost with the news that Hanley was dropped this afternoon. Back in the Great Britain starting lineup. And he looks in determined mood, doesn't he, to prove that perhaps he should have been there from the start.
Well, he's a point to prove, as all these players out there, but they are running with a lot of determination. They really want to sink this French side.
You mentioned the tackling. They seem to tackle all right up towards the halfway line, but get near their own try line and, well, it's woeful, isn't it?
Well, a big problem is because Great Britain are playing the ball extremely quickly. There you see, and there you can see quite clearly the French are still going in a backward direction. It's not a straight line, it's like a dog's back leg, and this is what occurs.
New Love with the run. Of course, Great Britain's players, he got a clout then. I think it was from the winger Garcia.
It was, and he didn't miss.
Great Britain have been playing the quick play, the balls, all the way through the domestic season, and it's coming up trumps for them tonight. Good defending, though, from Garcia against Duma, rather, from Edwards' kick ahead.
That was intelligent play by the 7th, Shaun Edwards. Could see that there was no one at home, just punched it over and then followed up his kick. He's having a top game, is Edwards.
26-0, we've still got a quarter of an hour of the first half to go. It's an exhibition so far from Great Britain, and it's great to see. What a pity it's not the Australians.
There's a lot of difference between the two sides, isn't there? But the poor French, they just haven't had this possession. It's been all Britain so far.
And when they do get possession in their own half, Britain are quickly in on the tackle. They have to kick for territory with inside their own 20-metre mark, and then Britain come at them like the waves again. Wave after wave of British attack.
Well, it's only been on one occasion that Gilles Duma has been able to kick the ball deep into the Great Britain territory, and they're having trouble because they can't get past that halfway line.
Here go Britain again. They've loaded the left-hand side. Davis squirms out of one tackle, through one more man, through two, and went forward. That's no try. Davis just tossed it over the top to his witness teammate Richie Ayres. It was a forward pass, no try.
This was the Davis of old, but not the best pass, as you mentioned, Eddie. But when you've got such a commanding lead, there you see the skills and the stepping of Jonathan Davis. He's having a big game also, the second row, Richie Ayres. Loves to run out wide. Joined in the centres.
Well, we came here to Headingley tonight hoping for a contest, but Great Britain have often run up the big scores here. 45 points to 12 in the very first international at Headingley in 1957, another 52 years later. They didn't return to Headingley after that for 25 years. 10-0 in 1984, 50 points to 4 in 1985, 52-4 in 87. That was Malcolm Reilly's first international in charge.
Bad drop ball there by the second rower, Kabastani. But it was the impact of the tackle as well. This British side really do mean business, not only in attack but in defence. They're really fired up for this one.
And Edwards feeds the scrum, finds Davis. Newlove on the run. Oh, it's clinical stuff from Great Britain, is this. Desperate defence that time, though, from Torrell, the hooker. Managed to haul the Featherstone Rovers man down, but they're only metres short of that line now. Mrs. Philip Clark wheels away from one, can't get away from the next two. Fage and Kapastani bring him down. That's how close, though, Great Britain are again. Dermott, Edwards, Andy Platt. How good it would be for the captain to crown this night with a try for him. Dermott, Edwards, Dennis Betts, brought down. Tate is the dummy half. And has he gone all the way? He has. Second try, Alan Tate.
Good thinking by the fullback through the dummy. Could see that they hadn't moved up on the blind side. He had the strength. Well worked try. You see they move across. Throws the dummy there. They only had one marker. Really should have had two marking there. One go either side. And that man has the strength, Tate, to score the try. Little dummy. There you see. They're going far too high. Got to get a ball in all situation. You've got to make sure you smother him and take him over on his back. They couldn't.
And so Alan Tate makes it 6 test tries now. I rather fancy that many of these players in the Great Britain side today will be looking to increase their try tally, and this man is certainly looking to increase his goal tally in international football. Missed too early on, planted the ball firmly between the woodwork since. We mustn't go overboard about this Great Britain display, but the thing is, if the papers in Australia carry news of a massive victory for Britain against the French, hopefully the alarm bells will be sounding in that part of the world. Davis again, the sights are well in. 32-0.
Only one marker there. There's a little boy lost on his own. Tate throws the dummy. The rest is history again. Another try. Good thinking though by the fullback.
Devereux, a strong run. They might be so much in control it's not funny, but Great Britain are taking no prisoners out there tonight. It's not just a training exercise. The speed and movement, it's there for all to see.
Yes, they're gelling well, aren't they? Quick play of the balls. Sean Edwards taking control. The back three, Betts, Ayres and Clark running out wide.
That's about the first mistake we've seen from Great Britain, and Phil Clark was alert enough to clear up the danger himself. Davis steps back, steps through, but good tackling. He is one man, the hooker Torrell, who has impressed tonight in the wreckage of this French display. They've been clinically taken apart, haven't they?
And he's one of the main reasons. Sean Edwards, lovely kick into open space. He means business tonight. Super stuff. So eager. Running in, taking control at the first man.
To be fair, Sean Edwards will look to have a big game here tonight. He was captain of Great Britain the day 3 years ago when the French won here, 25 points to 18. It wasn't a happy day for Mr. Edwards, or for any of the other Great Britain players on show that day, it must be said. Dumas. This is the second rower, Cartier.
You can see the difference in quality in the defensive patterns. Great Britain moving up all the time.
Look at that team tackle count as well. They've had to make twice as many, more than twice as many tackles as Great Britain have. Such has been the welter of possession Great Britain have had. Oh, that was high on Clark, and no wonder the touch judge is on. It was the substitute Amat who, well, got him, didn't he?
Didn't miss him. That really was the French connection. Oh, touch judge quick to get on. Look at that. Well, normally I'd probably be screaming for that boy to take a bit of a rest in the dugout, but I'm afraid France need all they can get.
It's the game's first penalty. We've been playing over 33.5 minutes. This is Carl Harrison, away from one, finds Dermot, Edwards, short ball to Connolly, good tackling, second rower, Cabastanet. Tate at dummy half. Harrison. Credit Carl Harrison for coming back to the international scene again tonight. Edwards, lovely running from Richie Ayres. Edwards again. Ball back inside to Tate. Drops it. Looking for Devereux. Pass was never really on.
A little bit too fancy there, Tate trying to feed Devereux into it. But we saw there Shaun Edwards again, taking control, running in, running the angles, bringing the ball back inside. This French defence just doesn't know what's occurring.
Neat run though from the centre, Alassina. That's probably the best run any Frenchman's had tonight. Dumas now. Just couldn't get the ball away under great pressure from Richie Ayres and also Andy Platt. I mentioned earlier, Mike, not only are they deadly in attack, but they're pretty strong in defence too tonight, Great Britain, so far. But that's neat play from Dumas, but it bounces off the second rower, Cartier.
Oh, lovely play by the skipper Dumas, but it really shouldn't have tried to get that ball away. To me, the second rower, Cartier, was being attended to, but excellent play by the skipper. You could see Newlove just getting involved with him. Really wasn't on.
Devereux with space ahead of him, and speed, and strength, and a try. John Devereux behind the sticks. Excellent try. John Devereux so disappointed to come back from tour without a place in the tests. Great try.
Excellent stuff this. Edwards out to Betts. Missed the man out. You can see that the wingman had come right across. But look at this, what a handoff. Fullback, go home. Bruxelles had no chance there. Going far too high. John Devereux got the speed, but also the upper body strength to push off the fullback as though he just didn't exist. Look at this. Out of my way, boy. I'm going through. Determination personified. That is an excellent try.
John Devereux, 20 tries for Widnes. A debut try against France in Perpignan last year. A try in Carcassonne, and now one here tonight. And he's given his witness teammate Jonathan Davis an easy task. Right in front. Goal number 5 for Jonathan Davis. Point number 38 for Great Britain.
Long ball from Edwards. Betts draws the defence out wide. There's no one at home. Sit back and enjoy this.
Dumas varying the kick-off technique this time, but he's tried the other way 7 times. And the French substitute, Abdrajababa. Get your tonsils around that one, Steve-O. Abracadabra, I can see it coming.
The way the French are playing, I think they want Alibaba.
Well, it's not Ali, it's Abrajar, and he's waiting to come on. And this is Connolly, and here come Great Britain again. Last tackle. For once, the French have kept Great Britain away from their own line. And that's a high kick from Edwards, punched back by Harrison. Hoiked forward again by Tate, and taken by Van Brussel. Steve-O, the point I was making about those Australian newspapers in the morning will see this scoreline. At least it proves that we're on the right road. At least it proves we're not scraping home against the French anymore.
Let's not forget, you know, it was only the last 8 minutes that we lost the World Cup final. Of course they'll take notice of this. It's been a very clinical performance by Great Britain. They should feel very proud of it. It's the manner that they've scored these tries. Okay, we have to say that the defence has been bad from the French at times, but the way that the British are running onto this ball with gusto is tremendous.
And of course these pictures are being beamed live to New Zealand, to our colleagues at Sky TV in New Zealand, and the Kiwis, I hope, will be watching this and knowing that they have a test match and a test series on their hands next autumn. That was the turnover, and Alan Tate has dropped it on the first tackle, but it didn't take long for Great Britain to get it back. Cabastanet, I think, dropped it, but no, he didn't. And the referee says it's back to 0 in the tackle count. Cartier, that is, disappearing under Davis and Richiers. Oh, that's schoolboy errors. Terrell, the hooker, so impressive in his tackling, but watch this.
Well, he knew what he wanted to go. Trouble is, you've got to take that white thing with you. It's the ball. Bit of a problem there by the French hooker. But he has worked hard, full credit to him.
We're in stoppage time for this first half, and the French will be looking for that half-time siren. But Great Britain have not finished yet. There it is, they have now. Well, a wonderful display of attacking football by Great Britain, 38 points to 0. 7 tries. Alan Hunt started the rout, he's had 2. And Dennis Betts has got in on the act as well. It's been a wonderful first half from a British point of view. Woeful if you're a Frenchman. Confirmation again of the half-time situation here at Headingley. Great Britain well and truly in command of this international. 38 points to 0. And the match facts really do tell their own story. 77 team tackles to 43 by the British. Scrums all square, just the 1 penalty in the match. Remarkably, Britain have made 5 handling errors to the French's 3. But look at the possession statistic at the bottom there. 68% of the time the football was in Britain's hands, 32% in the French's hands. Youngsters have wandered into Headingley tonight at the invitation of the Rugby Football League. Marvellous attempt by the authorities at Chapeltown Road to get the kids involved. The theory being they bring themselves, and they bring perhaps their mums and dads too, but lots of schools have been involved in promoting this international, and Baba has come on. I wonder if he has the key to holding and shoring up this pitiful French defence. And he has come on, has Baba for Thierry Boutignol, as we see Sean Edwards, who is having a wonderful game and is organising everything for Great Britain, alongside that man Jonathan Davis. Alan Tate on a hat-trick, and the British have made a change too. Darryl Powell of Sheffield Eagles has come in to the centre for Gary Connolly of St Helens. So as you would expect, Malcolm Reilly will make a couple of changes, I think, between now and the end of this match. I suppose if you are going to be critical of the British selection tonight, Mike, you would say that having built this lead now, it would be nice if he had 4 newcomers on the bench to introduce them gently into international football instead of the experienced hands like Darryl Powell. Fair?
Fair comment, but it's pretty hard to have a crystal ball before the kick-off. I'm sure that even Malcolm really didn't expect to have such a commanding lead. But this is a point that Malcolm really will be pushing upon his players, is to go through all the set pattern moves, all the things that they've done in training, all the hard work. This is a great opportunity now for them to bring him out on show.
And I wonder if the players do realise these pictures are being beamed live to the Southern Hemisphere and New Zealand. If they are aware of that, they're doing their reputations no harm at all with that Kiwi series coming up. So it's international football on the Big League Special this Friday. Darryl Powell, his first touch of the international. We'll be back to the hard graft on Sunday. We're at Castleford, not far from Headingley here in Yorkshire. It's Castleford against Wigan, the championship leaders. Championship up for grabs, of course, between Wigan and St Helens. And then the Premiership gets underway, and Sky Sports bringing you every round of the Premiership. Quarter-finals, semi-finals, both of them exclusively on Sky, and then the big day itself, May 16th, Old Trafford. If you can't be there with the 40,000 crowd inside the Wembley of the North, we've got 7 hours for you on Sky Sports planned. The dab forward was from Dermot, and Van Brussel was in all sorts of trouble with this.
Fingertip control not too good, but he did ground it there for the dropout underneath the sticks. But good thinking there by the hooker Martin Dermot, scooted away from the dummy half. I think you'll see quite a lot of that, especially late in the tackle count.
Tate gives it to Phil Clark. Oh, siding run from Clark, halted by the scrum half Pascal Fage. Touch sloppy by Edwards, but then he sets Ayres through the gap. A huge gap's opened up for Ayres. Hunt is there. Is Hunt on for the hat-trick? No, just held back. So close. Long pass to Edwards. Oh, there's a big gap for Edwards. Big hole, and he's exploited it. The finisher supreme, Sean Edwards. Try number 42 of a prodigious season.
All comes about by strong running by the forwards, taking out the blind, and then a long ball out there. The skipper, Gilles Dumas, took the gamble, went for the interception. The gap was so wide. Wonderful pass there by Dermot. And you could see Dumas, he went for that interception. As soon as he'd missed it, he knew the gate was open. Having a fine game. Look at this. There's Dumas there, and it's so wide. 4 double-decker buses could go through there. This man's got the speed. I'm afraid Baba had no chance to get to him.
Sean Edwards gives Jonathan Davis another opportunity from bang in front. That's 6 from 8 for Davis. All the falls, 44-0.
There's Dumas, he's come out of it. That's the gap. 4 points. Substitute Baba, no chance. Capped off a fine display so far by Shaun Edwards. Really has been in the workhorse, the engine room of this side. Running at the angles, and he's got plenty of support.
Treats every match, Shaun Edwards, doesn't it, like it's a Challenge Cup final. His personal discipline and his dedication to the task in hand. Won't begin to enjoy himself until this is all over, but that is a mistake. But that's good fielding by Phil Clark. The ball was dropped by Great Britain, it was bouncing loosely, and Clark simply swooped. Brave too. Harrison thought about releasing the pass to Dermott.
This is where Great Britain will be running the angles. There you can see Ayres out wide again.
Barnstorming run from the width of the second row, and Newlove in support. Newlove with the strength. Bounces Van Brussel out of the way. Just 5 minutes of this second half gone. We've had 8 tries from Great Britain. They're in possession now with Daryl Powell. Daryl Powell, GQ stepping. There's another try on here. If he releases it, does not to release it. Daryl Powell, he's only been on 5 minutes. He's on the score sheet. We're on the way to the records tonight.
They mean business, don't they? This all came about from that beautiful run by Richie Ayres, and then the step by the substitute, Daryl Powell. Pushes off. Once again, the French going far too high. Long ball out wide, Betts. Powell just throws a dummy. That was enough to slide through. The step inside, Baba. See how they go far too high. No one committed themselves to take him out and put him down. The result is another 4 points.
Daryl Powell marks his 21st appearance for his country with his 3rd international try. His first 2 were against Papua New Guinea. And as France is an established test nation despite this scoreline, Daryl Powell will be delighted. So Davis to take his personal tally to 14 points, and does so. We've hit the 50, Great Britain on the half-century.
You throw the dummy, there's the prop forward, Anas going for it. He goes through. The step, then the other step, and then the strength. Just push them away. Worked hard for that one.
And the substitute for France is Fabien Berengi, and Cabestany, the second row forward, has gone off. And for Berengi, it's his debut in the international side. He was in the under-21s, beaten at Rochdale in February.
Well left there by Edwards. Nasty bouncing ball, skidded off the surface.
Well, Great Britain really are on the threshold of new records against France. The previous record established here at Headingley the day that Martin Afaya scored 5 tries was 60 points. 60 points to 4. It was France's worst ever defeat. And they're on the way here. Great Britain again with Edwards.
Well, there we saw what I predicted, running again from the dummy half position. It's just throwing all confusion into this defence. And then the quick run out wide, the long ball, the switch, the good support play.
It's a full repertoire of skills from Great Britain now. The support from Davis. A long pass out to Alan Hunt. He can simply motor for his hat-trick. But the referee has pulled it back for the forward pass. Hunt will be disappointed. It's no try.
Excellent play by Great Britain, good support play. Davies opted for the long ball, it was forward. Tried to loop it well outside, he could see that Hunt was unmarked.
Sonny Nicol comes on for only his second cap, the Great Britain second rower, and he is replacing Dennis Betts. Great Britain have got the possession from the scrum, but the ball has been tapped into the air by Servan, and suddenly, for almost, well, the first time this half, the French can mount an attack. That's Amat, the substitute. And there's another of the second half substitutes, Baba. Dumas trying to set something going for Amat. It's the last one for France. The hooker, Torel, hits it downfield. That will have too much French beef behind it.
Nice bit of play though from the hooker, Torel. Went on the blind side, saw that no one was home, but a little bit too long. Things really just not going well for the French tonight.
10 minutes, sorry Mike, 10 minutes of this second half gone, 50-0, Great Britain lead. Just to emphasise again, all these players who are replaced, we won't be seeing them again, so we're playing international rules, of course. Once you're off, you are off. Nothing changes in the possession statistic.
Quite a nice ploy by Malcolm Reilly. They've pushed Jonathan Davies out wide, virtually playing out wide in the centres.
The French tackling's not so bad in the British half of the field. It's just up the other end, isn't it? And it's been that way from start, really, tonight. They do all right in holding them up at halfway, but what's going to happen here, we think? Van Brussel nearly made a hash of it.
Good refereeing there by the Australian Graham Annesley. Did come off his knee.
Doing a Servan. Great Britain in quickly. Alasina. There's no option there really at all. Britain might be 50 points to the good. They want to concede nothing here. That's Anas, the prop forward, grounded by his opposite number Harrison and Sonny Nicol. Whoa, big hit by Andy Platt of Baba.
Oh, tremendous hit by the skipper. That just shows you they mean business, even though they've got well on their way to a cricket score. They're going to make them count.
French running it on the last tackle. Second rower is Cartier. Whoa, that was a bit high with the elbow by Dermot, was it?
No, it was fair. It was a shoulder charge. There you see it. Just at the last minute, he threw up the left elbow. That really was a cruncher there by Dermot. Oh.
Long pass from Dermot to Clark. Davis picks it up. Darryl Powell. Newlove. They're loading this left wing again. Newlove. He's got Hunt with it. He doesn't need it. Newlove scored the try himself. Second try tonight for Paul Newlove. Big beaming smiles all round.
The forwards do the hard work. They punch in. Then the long ball out wide. Well taken by Davis. Powell sends the centre away. Slows it down just at the right moment. Steps back inside. First Brussel and then Garcia. That's the strength to go over. Two long balls. First one here well taken there by Davis. Powell can see that the number 6 Dumas had come up again. If you commit yourself like that, step one, step two, well taken try.
Paul Newlove of Featherstone Rovers. We shall be seeing him in the big league next season on Sky Sports. Davis looking for his 8th successful kick. 54-0 it is. And he's got it. That's 56 points to nil. And Great Britain, who inflicted the worst ever defeat on France at Headingley by 60 points to 4, have now equalled the biggest winning margin against the French. So the records, I fancy, are about to tumble, courtesy of fellows like Paul Newlove and the rest of this British team, who have done a super professional job on the French here tonight.
That was excellent centre play by Paul Newlove. Just slowed it down so that they could drag the defence into him. But a nice step inside.
Well, Ian Proctor, our statistician, is working overtime and looking at the record books. The world record is on the line here tonight. Australia beating Papua New Guinea by 70 points to 8. So we could really be on the threshold of something big here this evening with play like this from Newlove. Look at the strength of him. He has the presence of mind to give it to Edwards. There's another try on the ball. That's the 60. This is a clinical show by Great Britain. They've destroyed the French.
Basic principles of rugby league. The defence moves across. There you can see 2 go for 1 man. Nicol fends off. Pulls in Garcia. Hunt back inside. Super play. Newlove, big and strong. Powerful back inside. They just couldn't reach him. Good try there by the hooker, Torrell. But Shaun Edwards, he's having a game and a half tonight.
So Shaun Edwards now with his 2 tries. They're queuing up for the hat-tricks here tonight now. Eight from 10 for Davis. This perhaps the most difficult of them all, tight to the touchline on this near side. And if he slots this over, it is a new record score by Great Britain against the French. Davis, he's given it a chance. It just fades. So we wait for the new record, but they've equalled it. 60 points to 0.
Harrison sucks in the 2 players. That's the running at the angle that makes the break. Fends off does Nicol. Ball out wide to Hunt, and then the inside pass. Excellent support play. This man is big and strong. Classy player, and the man, the best in the business in support, Shaun Edwards.
That's 43 tries this season for Shaun Edwards. He's in possession again, direct from kick-off. The run is Richier's.
And they still look eager to the British boys. They know these records are coming, and that was just forward.
Just a touch.
Just overrun it a little bit there, Phil Clark. Tried to hold it up as long as he could, Shaun Edwards. That pulls the defence in so that the gap appears.
The ball is somewhere in there, and the French have it. As they mount this attack, a rare one for them. Let's hear from Dennis Betts, who is off the field substituted. He's with Bill Arthur.
Oh yeah, we've worked really well in defence. Although France have not had a lot of ball, when they have had it, we've not let them make any kind of ground at all. And when we've had the ball, just natural flair's taken over, and we've just dominated the game throughout, really.
But I'd have thought there might be at some stage, anyway, a temptation to just ease off a bit. There's not even any sign of that.
None at all. Well, we talked about this because there's such a good win in France. We knew that we had to be on our toes if it was going to be such an easy game. And we're all professionals, and we're going out there to score as many points and do as well as we can, really. We're not going to let them off the hook easily.
You're actually on course for a world record points total.
Well, I don't know anything about that. But at the moment, all that matters is that the lads keep them down to 0, really. If we can do that, then Malcolm will be well pleased, because everything seems to have gone our way tonight, and if we can stop them from scoring any points, I think he'll be even more happier.
I think they'll all be happy with this display. Well said, Dennis Betts. Great Britain in possession, but just before this, as this attack gathers pace down the right-hand side with Darryl Powell, we saw a touch of this Gallic flair from Gilles Dumas. Look at that, beautiful.
Nice play. He's a classy player, but I'm afraid he hasn't had much opportunity tonight.
Credit the French, though. If Great Britain aren't packing it in, the French certainly aren't. They're now playing for pride midway through this second half.
As Dennis Betts mentioned, the fact that they've just not allowed the French to get into any sort of pattern, and with tackling like that, that's the reason why. Wonderful example of the sliding defence by the British, moving up quickly, forcing them everywhere, but going down the middle. There you can see it out wide. Britain are very quick moving up.
There will no doubt be a lot of criticism of this French team in the papers in the morning, but it's a little bit like a soccer match that's so one-sided. You can only ask a team to go out and win 5-0 or 6-0 in soccer. You can only ask a team to come into rugby league and put on a performance like this of clinical destruction.
They'll be pleased, and so will Alan Tate, taking a lovely ball like that. It was under a lot of pressure.
Alan Tate back in the international scene.
Well, as yet, Eddie, we haven't seen any planned moves, and quite frankly, I think this is the time now. I think we'll start seeing the runarounds and the crisscross.
Quick hands from Great Britain. Everything's sticking tonight, isn't it? What a shame we're not seeing them take the green and golds apart here. But it's the red, white and blue of France. It's a test nation, it's a test match, and it'll be in the record books. And Darryl Powell slipped the net and found Newlove. Newlove halted briefly, but here's the hat-trick for Newlove. Paul Newlove with the hat-trick. Delight on his face. And not only that, Newlove has scored hat-tricks in his last 2 matches for Featherstone Rovers.
Really on the boil, but you can see how they keep the movement. Alan Tate gets it away. Lovely run here by Phil Clark. Look at the step there, like a centre. Back inside, Richie Ayres, he's had a big game. Slips the ball through. A high tackle by the prop forward, Theo Anas. And look at that, once again, they are paying the price of going too high on a man that is very strong, very fast, and very happy. Look at that. You must commit yourself through. They don't. That is real upper body strength. Good try.
Davis kicks the extra 2. It's clickety-click time for Great Britain. 66-0. And Carl Furbank comes on to replace Carl Harrison. So the Christian name stays the same, the surname just slightly different. Job well done by Carl Harrison.
Yes, he's worked very hard, but one of the highlights, of course, of this British side is not only their confidence highs, that they have respected possession. Very few mistakes from them, especially with the fact that they've had so much possession, and they tried to keep this ball alive.
Yes, it's stuck like glue, hasn't it? And here's Furbank. He's looking round for the support. They couldn't bring him down then.
Well, that's probably the first time tonight that we haven't seen any support play by the British side.
Little mistake from Dermot, just off the calf and straight into the midriff of Theo Anast, the French prop forward. So France in possession. A little shake of the head, rueful. I mean, blimey, 66-0 up, and he still doesn't want to make any mistakes. That shows the difference.
Well, it's all about the discipline, isn't it? And the Great Britain coach, Malcolm, really depends a lot on that. And I'm afraid a bad mistake there by Fage. That's a woeful attempt, really. Not the best of passes.
And Sean Edwards was about to feed the scrum. He looked across and he saw that number 7 was held up, and Mike Ford of Castleford will come on and replace him. 2 players, no doubt, we will see on opposite sides of the fence at Weldon Road on Sunday, on Sky's Big League on Sunday night at 7. Castleford Wigan. 4 matches to go for Wigan at the top of the table. They've got to win them all, particularly the match on Good Friday against St Helens, and they will be champions. St Helens will have other ideas in the match against Leeds at Knowsley Road on Sunday. And don't forget the big showdown at Central Park, Saints Wigan, on Sky Sports, Good Friday, 11 o'clock in the evening. Meanwhile here, Great Britain on the verge of that world record score in a test match. The record currently held by Australia. 70 points it was for them, 78 against Papua New Guinea. Alan Hunt meanwhile drops the ball. Great Britain here 66-0 up. And the French looking to gain some consolation. Cartier.
The big problem now for Great Britain is not to try too much individual stuff, to go through the game plan, still work those moves, try to switch of play, not try to do everything on your own.
Hasn't Andy Platt led well tonight? That huge hit then on the Frenchman stopped him dead in his tracks. The skipper leading by example. Another mistake from France. Great Britain have it back. Fairbank, Davis, Newlove. Fancies 4, does Newlove. Hunt. Alan Hunt, who started this rout. Andy Platt. There he goes again. Possession's equalled up a bit. Good play by Ford, he finds Fairbank. Great Britain steaming forward again. Richie Ayres, out to Alan Hunt. The hat-trick beckons for Hunt. Well, he's given it instead to Mike Ford. And Ford came on as a substitute in Carcassonne and scored, and has done the same here tonight. And has a big grin at the supporters behind the posts. 2 sub-appearances, 2 tries.
Good play by the 2 substitutes. Powell first, back inside. You'll see Fairbank come through there. Seems like an eternity before someone supports him. He looks through. Here he comes, Richie Ayres. Long ball out wide. Hunt steps inside. Support there by Mike Ford. Well-deserved try. It's all about running at the angles, as you can see. The dummy there by Powell. Back inside. It really does just cut through this defence. Switch in. Reversing the play. Long ball out wide. Look at the French defence come across there. No one anywhere near Ford. Bounced off the chest. Eager to snatch it in. Loses the mouth guard, but no worries. 4 points will do.
An important goal kick here for Davis. That equals the record in test matches. 10 for Davis, 72 for Britain. 10 goals for Jonathan Davis. Equals the record set by Lewis Jones in 1954 against the Australians, and Bernard Ganley in 1957 against France. Jonathan Davis, 10. It could have been 12. And 72-0, that's a new world record for Test matches also. We have, on my watch, 11 minutes left for play. Great Britain could nudge the ton here tonight. And I don't care what you say, if that appears in the papers, people will sit up and take notice.
They've just been demoralised, this French side. Fast running, good support play.
It was all there, but that wasn't the best pass in the world. Davis's long ball. And straight into the arms of the winger, Claude Servin. Van Brussel disappears under the challenge. Anast just gets rid of the ball quickly. Luckily for him, it was the winger, Garcia, and I think that's 6 more to go for the French.
Good play by the winger Garcia there, well supported by the centre Mons.
Fage with the long ball out to Van Brussel. This is a good run from Brussel. He's got round 10. Well done, France! Consolation try for Van Brussel on his debut too. Eric Van Brussel. The match is gone, but it's a moment he'll cherish.
Oh, beautiful try, long ball by Dumas. You'll see Brussel link into the fullback position, cuts back inside there. Powell had gone out wide. Clark was just a little bit too late to slide in. Good in and out there that left Tate sprawling. Excellent try. On his debut, he'll enjoy this. But for once, the French three-quarter line getting it right. Beautiful long pass out there by Fage. And the fullback, who's had plenty to do in defence. Nice in and out, step round Alan Tate. Well taken try.
Eric Van Brussel makes it 72 points to 4. Where were they 71 minutes ago? Gilles Dumas then makes the 4 into 6. And applause ringing all round this ground for the French, who, to their credit, have kept plugging away and have finally got some consolation. Well, one of the French Australians is Richard Clark, who's talking downstairs with Bill Arthur again.
Richard, some consolation there, but really this has been men against boys, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, we saw in the first 10 minutes when they started scoring early in the game, they were just too big, too strong, too fast. You know, when they were running out onto the field, I've had a look at just the size, for example, of the players. We're giving away 20 to 25 pounds a player all over the park, not just in the forwards.
But it's more than just weight, isn't it? There's technique as well.
Technique, speed, you know, it's all in the legs, the force and things like that. There's technique as well, for sure. But you know, it's hard to, even if you've got great technique, 10-stone player is going to still get fairly well beaten by a 13-stone player with the same technique.
What about this Great Britain performance then?
Well, it's good practice for them for the next time they come up against old Kiwis next summer. So that'll be interesting to see how they go there, because the Kiwis they're going ahead in leaps and bounds as well. Now with Auckland coming into the Sydney comp, there's a great interest in New Zealand now. And after that, you know, we'll see what happens.
Richard Clark watching as Alan Tate sets off on a run. Yeah, it's good practice, as Richard Clark says. Good practice for what's to come. The Kiwis won't be quite so easy as this. There's one or two of the New Zealanders playing in the big league at the moment who are no doubt watching this and just relishing the prospect of taking on Great Britain in that Test series next autumn. Meanwhile, Newlove, I think, got just a hand in touch then.
Well, Dumar came high on him.
Oh, no, it's
you
the
can
foot.
see the foot that went in. He tried to bring it back quickly. Good work there by the French touch judge. Not a lot of things have gone right for that man, Gilles Dumar, the captain. It's been an awesome performance by Great Britain, and they're still eager to add points.
David Frace comes on and Pascal Mons goes off. David Frace, a two-test debut against Papua New Guinea in 1987. He's coming back after a serious car crash. And it's good to see him back on the park. Pascal Mons taking a little tap from the reserve referee John Connolly as he takes his place on the bench. That's not a bad little kick, and Alan Hunt has to run it dead. Dumar showing he does have the skill and the class when given the opportunity.
He read it well there, of course, in this modern day of football. The wing has just dropped back rather than the full-back. Full-back standing in the one line of defence. Good thinking there by the French skipper, but Alan Hunt was equal to the task.
5 minutes to go, 72 points to 6. It's a new world record score in Test match football. Strong run from Baba, held up by Furbank and Nicol in particular. This is Fage, now Dumar. Dumar to David Frace. Theo Anast, one of the Australian accents in the French squad, belongs to that prop forward. Dumar hoists the high kick. Little tester, Devereux underneath it, took it well.
Playing with a lot of confidence now, the Welsh winger John Devereux. There was never any doubt who was going to take that football.
Andy Platt still going strong.
He'll definitely be happy with the Great Britain skipper Andy Platt. Last time he skippered was against Manly, of course, when they lost 30-0. This will certainly erase some of the pain from that particular night.
The winger, Claude Servent. Remember, many of these players, in fact all of them no doubt, will be backing up with their club fixtures on Sunday. This is Baba.
Even with only a few minutes to go, it's great to see the British defence still moving up quickly. They certainly don't want to give away another try.
Well, we said not long ago they might be nudging the 100. They've got 3 minutes left for play. It stays at 72 points to Great Britain, 6 to France.
Dermot gets injured in this tackle. Oh, that hurts right in the shoulder.
And that could be problems for Wigan. He's hurt his shoulder. And he's had problems with his shoulder all the way through this season as Martin Dermot. And it would be a shame for him, and obviously for Wigan, if, with a match well won, the pain that's etched all over that face costs them their hooker in the run into the title. And of course Wembley, not to mention Old Trafford. Bench ahead in one department of this match.
Let him play, lads. Come on.
Theo Anna strongly into Andy Platt. And Andy Platt has not taken a backward step here all night.
That's why it's great to see such tackling there with only seconds remaining. They're keen. Oh, beauty. Dermot really got his own back there.
Nothing wrong with that shoulder. Terrell with the little chip forward, collided with Devereux, swept up by Alan Tate. Tate has the pace. So does Van Brussel.
Did well there, did the Leeds full-back, realised he'd nowhere to go. Dug his heels in, ensured that he kept in the field of play.
Davis, New Love. Alan Hunt is there, but it bounced off Hunt, bounced forward. Hunt had dreams of a hat-trick himself. Neat play by the French. This is the centre, Alassina. Feels Dumas. Dumas to Bava. Back to Dumas. Out to the far side. It's Van Brussel again. Brussel heading for the corner. Neatly chips over the top. Almost gets it back. Alan Tate wraps it up. But that was inventive play from the fullback so late on in the game.
Excellent play there. Brussel, he nearly recovered that ball. Nowhere to go, just chipped over the top. Nice touch. Was he impeded by Richie Ayres? Referee Graham Annesley says no.
We're in stoppage time. Great Britain might have to do with the 72. Great Britain will collect the trophy at the end of this. This is Mike Ford. On off the bench and scored a try in his second international. Richie Ayres strongly again, running strong as he has all night. That's one for Britain. Davis with the step. They waited for the kick. There's the kick. Clark's after it. Clark nearly got a toe to it, and it was a good job that Berengie was there. And Platt again. Newlove down below and Platt steaming in over the top.
Good work by the substitute Berengie there to take that ball, but what a great tackle by Platt.
And here's Serven, the winger. Lord Serven couldn't get round Tate. Found Torel. He passed it inside to Alassina. And Phil Clark snuffs the danger out. That's the last action from this test match. Great Britain have won a famous victory. A world record score for a test. And Andy Platt's first job as captaincy. Very, very well done. Davis equaling the record for goals in a test match with 10. A personal tally of 20 points for him. And a comprehensive display by Great Britain. So the message now then is obviously bring on the Kiwis. Great Britain will receive the trophy that they have won with their victory in Carcassonne 3 weeks ago and their victory here tonight. And I think Dennis Betts is quite pleased with his captain and Wigan teammate Andy Platt.
Well, he said before the game he'd like to lead by example. The new skipper Andy Platt, and he certainly did that. Some strong runs, some crunching tackles. Really has been a good all-round performance by Britain. France never in the hunt.
And Andy Platt leads the victorious British side up the steps here at Headingley to collect the British Coal Trophy from the Deputy Chairman of British Coal, Bert Wheeler. And an excellent job, well done. Easy victory on the night, but you cannot do anything other than win handsomely and win well, and that's exactly what Great Britain have done here this evening. Not too much time for celebrations. As I say, the majority of these players will be backing up for their clubs. Bumps and bruises provided on Sunday.